you very proud crowd who's out to save the planet. You are my kind of people. Thank you very much. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Magali. I am the Marketing and Sustainability Director in FIDI. And for those who know me, they will confirm that I am absolutely passionate about the topic of sustainability in our industry, because I think it's important for the planet, but I also truly, truly, profoundly believe that it is really, really important for your companies to actually survive financially as well. And this is really the main red or leitmotif of today, is why and how you can be compliant with the topic of sustainability reporting to actually help you in your business. So what the session is not about, it's not about saving the penguins, even though I usually start all my presentations with a pretty penguin picture. Not this time. It's not about the details of carbon footprint, scope of emissions, even though I will touch on that. That's not the topic of today either. The topic of today really is all about where do you start from scratch in your sustainability reporting strategy. So it's going to be very, very basic, very, very simple. There are no bad questions. This is a topic that is extremely complicated and extremely overwhelming for everybody. So don't worry if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Don't worry if you feel that you are completely lost. I can bet you that most of the people here have no idea what you're talking about, and just the fact that you're sitting in this room already puts you way ahead of all of those that are standing outside. So well done on that. This is what I'm going to go through. It looks like much, but I will try and go through it fast. If there are any questions along the way, ask, but please ask with a microphone. Raise your hand and just ask it. We will leave some time at the end for some Q&A. The takeaways that I really would love you to get away with today is just very basic. Where do you start from scratch? I'll give you some tools, some guidelines from within FIDI, from outside of FIDI as well. But I really, really want to help you to put things into perspective, because no one has really an idea of what they're doing, and it is really important to take the sting out of it and just to start. Because those of you who have seen me go on and on in webinars, what is my favorite sentence? An imperfect something is better than a perfect nothing. By just starting, by just putting something out there, you will be way, way, way ahead of your competition, because you will be way, way, way ahead of 80% or 90% of the people standing out there and 99% of the rest of the moving industry. So just don't be afraid of just starting somewhere. And that's really the purpose of today's session. So I said sustainability is really, really complicated, so I have to go through some key terminology that you need to have heard about to be able to start working on your strategy and your reporting. So it's complicated. There are loads of acronyms, because sustainability nerds, we love acronyms. I do apologize for that, but these are terms that you will hear again and again and again. So you better just start wrapping your head around them. The first one is ESG. So the term ESG actually comes from the financial world, and it used to be linked to financial investment, but over the past years, it kind of morphed to mean the same thing. For those of you who follow me on LinkedIn, I put out a long rant about the importance of words. I don't like the terminology ESG, but that's just me. But you will see when you get requests from clients, when you see the legislation coming up, you will find both terms more or less interchangeably. So the E stands for environmental. So this all looks at the issues or the impact your company has on the environment, on the society in which you operate in, and on your governance. We'll get into that a bit in a bit more detail, but this is basically the main structure of your sustainability strategy or your sustainability report. has to look at sustainability globally, not only the environment. Now, having said that, because we're in the moving industry, and because quite a few of you are quite asset-based, and we are operationally heavy, of course, our clients, when they think environment, when they think sustainability, and they think of the moving industry, they think trucks, they think packing material, they think boats. So there is a very strong focus on the environment in our industry. Now, for you DSP crowd out there, that's not the case. So if your activity is more around destination services, well, the operational environmental side of things is maybe less important than the social aspect. So that's something to take into account, that the type of your activity will have an influence on how the three elements actually weigh in your company, right? Carbon footprint and scopes of emissions. Now, I won't go into detail on that. I've spoken hours and hours and hours on this in webinars. There's loads of information on FIDI.net as well. When we talk about a carbon footprint of a company, it covers all the emissions that are linked to your company's operations. And in the corporate world, carbon emissions for a company are categorized in three scopes, or three categories: scope 1, scope 2, scope 3. There's lots of information on FIDI.net, but what goes into each category, I invite you to go and read that. This is an important term for us because, of course, you might have known that we launched a carbon footprint calculation platform last year, specifically destined for our industry. It's a project that we worked on with a Swedish company called World Favor. Again, all the information is on FIDI.net. There are QR codes lying around on the table that you need to hunt down. If you scan that, it will take you to the platform. It will explain a bit to you how it works. And if you've got any questions, you can always come to me. But this is an important term that you need to know as well. Now, materiality. That's a bit of a nerdy term that I don't understand why sustainability people need to make things complicated. Materiality just basically means any issue that is important to you. For example, if you're based in Venezuela and you have an asset-based company, your material issues might be security. It might be flooding. It might be the price of petrol, even though that's more in our side of the world. But material issues are basically just issues, challenges, or impacts that are relevant to your company. Now, that's an important term to understand because the term of double materiality comes up a lot in sustainability legislation. Now, simple materiality is just basically how your company's activities impact the environment. Okay? That's simple materiality. It's quite easy to wrap your head around that. For example, how do your transportation with diesel trucks, how does that affect emissions, air pollution, noise pollution, health and well-being of your drivers? That is the material issues in a simple materiality assessment. Now, the double materiality assessment also looks at the impact the other way around. How do sustainability issues affect your company? So, for example, ESG regulation in Europe that prohibits diesel vehicles in city centers, well, that has a direct impact on your companies because, for example, maybe you need to invest in electric trucks. So that has a financial impact on your company. That's the term of double materiality. Now, in EU legislation, the big companies, they already now have to provide a double materiality assessment. Small companies, for the moment, not yet. So if you're starting somewhere, start with a simple materiality assessment. It's not very difficult to do. You can Google the term. But then we also published, end of last year, a very simple guideline just to explain how do you start with a double materiality assessment. It's not rocket science. It's basically you have to ask all your stakeholder groups. So it's basically your clients, your staff, your business partners, the community in which you operate. You ask them what is important to you from a sustainability point of view. You map that, you choose the most important topics, and there you have your materiality assessment. It's not complicated. That materiality assessment and your general sustainability report it's very strongly recommended that you use an existing framework to structure that report. One that is really easy to understand because it's very visual, and that is also very well known around the world by corporate clients, government clients, are the UN SDGs. Have you all heard about the UN SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals? Yeah? Comes with pretty, oops, sorry. Oh, I'm missing an image. It comes with pretty images. It's 17 goals, very, very, very vivid colors. From a marketing point of view, it's brilliant. And it comes with 169 targets. So each goal has a list that you can just tick off and understand, okay, which targets are relevant to me? And that actually helps you to structure your report in a way that other stakeholders can understand. So if you're starting from scratch and you're not being pressured to use another framework, I would very, very strongly recommend that you look into this. And there again, we published a report that we worked with, and Dan, I think you were on that group, right? That was like 3 years ago already. Yeah. So we worked together with a group of FIDI affiliates to really map out which are the goals that are most relevant to our industry, how it works together, and we give you very tangible, practical, real-life examples of how that works. I very strongly recommend that you read through it to give you some inspiration. I told you we love acronyms. The EU CSRD. Lars, you cannot play. What does CSRD stand for?
Corporate sustainability.
You're not allowed to play. No. Okay, fine. So CSRD is everybody's nightmare.
Yeah.
Exactly. Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, up to recently, I won't bore you with the details, up to recently it was every sustainability manager's absolute nightmare. It's EU legislation. So I'm a big believer in the EU. They do things very, very well, but they do things very, very thoroughly. And so this is a legislation that asks the big companies, they have to report on over 1,200 data points. So my friends who are sustainability managers, they tell me that they spend between 3 and 6 months preparing the report on this. So you're lucky. I think no one in this, except for you, Lars, I think, right? Yeah. Except for you, I don't think anybody else, for the moment, is directly affected by the first wave of CSRD. But there is a trickle-down effect, because the big companies, to be compliant with this legislation, they need your data. And that's where the wave of requests has been coming from over the past 2 years. Now, we have, I don't know if you heard yesterday, it was yesterday, right? My mind is going blank. Yes, it was yesterday at the roll call. We mentioned a new collaboration between FIDIMAC and FIDI that was just announced just last week, where FIDIMAC is working with a consultant to create a template framework based on CSRD, but specifically developed for small and medium-sized companies in the moving space, to help you structure your report following this EU CSRD framework. And FIDIMAC members will have access to the FIDI carbon calculator, and in exchange, FIDI members have access to that template reporting tool for CSRD. So we're going to launch that in September, and I will be talking about that quite a lot as of the end of the year. So again, if you're looking for a framework to structure your strategy, to structure your reporting, that's another potential solution for you. So now we get into the real topic of today, which is actually sustainability reporting. If there's any question, please don't hesitate to ask now or ask at the end. So, quick show of hands. In this room, who has already been asked to report on your sustainability, ESG, DE&I, whatever complicated acronym clients are using? Who has already been asked by their clients to report on their sustainability? Okay, that's more or less what I hear every single time I ask this question. Usually it's about 2/3 say yes, a small third says no, and then you always have those people that have no idea. What I tell those people that say no and those that have no idea, I'm telling them, well, lucky you, but Don't worry, it'll come your way rather sooner than later. Even now, when we have the feeling that ESG is finished, ESG is dead because, well, there are other priorities at the moment. That's not the case. From a compliance point of view, the topic of sustainability is not going to go away. It might change acronyms because now, of course, D&I, that's a taboo word, you're not allowed to use it anymore. ESG is not in fashion anymore as well. So the terms might change, but the compliance pressure is not going to go away anytime soon. But the good news is, at the moment, we are a bit in a breathing pause kind of moment. So this is the perfect moment for you to sit down and try and make sense of it for your company. Because when the pendulum will come hitting back, well, you will all way ahead of all the people that are taking the sun out there. And from a marketing and from a business point of view, this is going to be really, really valuable. So even if in the news you've got the feeling that people say, sustainability, that's not in fashion anymore, that's gone, it will come back. Because EU legislation is still here to stay, and that will become the benchmark at international level. And when people will start feeling the brunt of climate change, then the topic will go up the priorities list very, very quickly again. So this is your moment to actually start preparing to be ready. So basic purpose of your sustainability report is just to show your clients, your staff, your business partners, anybody asking what you are doing from a sustainability point of view and how that links together with your business activities. So my other day job is marketing. From a marketing perspective, this is the perfect moment to tell your story. And we had a meeting with the RMCs just before the conference started, and they really underlined the importance of storytelling. And this is your moment to tell your story. This is your moment to show them that you are different to all of those that have the same boxes, the same trucks, the same activities. This is your moment to stand out. Make use of it. Really, really make use of it from a marketing perspective. So, if you have nowhere near started with your sustainability strategy, here's some advice. Does everybody know the KISS principle? What is it? Keep it simple, stupid, indeed. It means don't overthink it. Start simple, start at your level. There is no wrong. Does anybody know this principle? No? What does kip mean in Dutch? Chicken, well done. You won't find this anywhere because I made that one up. I was very proud of myself. So the KIP principle is keep it practical. Don't overthink it. Don't try to be like Grable. You don't need to be like Grable. You can be your own. Keep it practical. And then the killer principle, anybody know that one? No, because I made that one up as well. The killer principle is keep it local and relevant to you. That's really, really important. What we often see is that, again, you take as an example, you take the Grable report, which is excellent, but it's Grable's report. You take Santa Fe's report, which is excellent, but it's Santa Fe's report. It's not yours. So you are the best placed to know your local context, to know your own realities. So keep it local and keep it relevant to you, all the while using those frameworks that the corporates understand. And then find your champion. Now, I know this sounds corny, but for me, this is actually the most important part of your sustainability strategy. We sustainability people, we are passionate because we really, really believe in this. So we are the ones that put in extra hours. We are the ones that people believe because they trust us, because they can see that we really believe in this. Find your sustainability champion. You probably have one in your office already. They don't need to be sustainability professionals because you can learn that. We've got guidelines, reports, online webinars. They're passionate. They will put in the hours to learn all about it. But they have to feel it. And then give them the authority. That's really important. Give them the authority to challenge business as usual. Give them the authority to implement ideas. Give them the authority to try things out and fail. This is, for me, the most important part of your strategy. So what should you report on? Now, this is a checklist, a long one. This is basically the structure of your report, right there. You can change it, again, make it local and relevant to you. You can change it, you can change the order, but this is basically the structure of your sustainability report. The about your company and the sustainability focus, that's your story. That's where you can explain what makes you special and why the sustainability material issues or relevant issues that you chose are so important to you. That's your marketing story. But your honest marketing story. I'll get to that one afterwards as well. Your governance is who's in charge of your sustainability strategy? How are the decisions taken? Do you have a sustainability committee? Do you have a sustainability manager? What's the decision power between your sustainability manager committee and your CEO, your board? That's the governance side of things. The governance side of things is also a bit legislation, like worker well-being, health and safety, all that. That's the governance aspect of things. Then you have, where do you stand now? KPIs and results, that's the KISS principle. Keep it really, really simple here. Do what you can, and you will be way, way, way ahead of those people out there. Now, the importance here, of course, is the carbon footprint calculation, because that's what we've been focusing on for a long time. I don't know many, many companies who have already done their perfect carbon footprint report in our industry or any industry, actually, because it's really, really complicated and it's not an exact science. Okay. So carbon footprint calculation, what you should have fairly easily and fairly soon is your scope 1, scope 2. Scope 1, that's your direct emission, that's the fuel that you put into your trucks. That's if you've got generators, that's the energy that goes into the generators. Air conditioning, that's the same, that's scope 1. Scope 2, the purchased electricity. All that data you should have really, really easily available. So scope 1, scope 2 should definitely be in there. And then scope 3 is the complicated part, but there are easy elements that you can already very easily find. Business travel is one, and you'll be surprised at the weight of your business travel emissions when you come to FIDI conferences and Euro conferences and all those conferences. Don't tell Jesse that I said that on stage. But so you have scope 3 emissions that are really easy to already capture. Start with those and then explain why you don't have the others and what you're implementing to find them. You're done, at least for this year. So end of this year, I will start very kindly nudging you to start working on your 2024 emissions for scope 1, scope 2, and easy scope 3. So you will get training material, webinars, guidelines. You'll be sick and tired of me by early next year, I can tell you that. But that's what we are going to push for, because we want to use 2024 as the baseline that we can then use as baseline to set targets, to see how we evolve, to understand how we compare with other industries, for example. So 2024 will be our baseline. Key in your sustainability report are, of course, all the policies that you have in place. These are all the policies that your company has to have. But it's not rocket science, because actually you already have all of those, because all of you are FAME certified. So FAME requirements cover all of these already. So you're good. Make sure to include them, or at least a link to them, in your sustainability report. And again, you will be way, 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 way ahead of 98% of your competition. Nice to have policies, again, to give you that extra edge. Could be these, again, depending on your location, depending on where you're based in the world. For example, DE&I, if you're based in the US, maybe not the best word to use, but you can change it to equality, to togetherness. Voilà. You can play with the words. You don't have to have these, but if they are relevant to you, if they are material to you, Google templates, adapt the templates to your reality, and bam, you have additional policies. But very important, clients and the public, they have gained a lot of knowledge, and they are out for those that don't tell the truth and are not honest. So whatever you put in your report, make sure to be really, really honest. If it's not perfect, that actually, again, from a marketing perspective, it gives you that extra edge because it makes you look trustworthy. It makes you look like you really care. So be really, really honest and be careful of greenwashing. So our companies, they're maybe not really big enough to be really, really, really in trouble, but the reputational cost of a greenwashing scandal can kill you. I hope I scared you enough. Now, green rinsing is a word that I learned just a few days ago. Does anybody know what green rinsing means? Lars?
I've never heard of it.
Well, I'm really proud of it. Is Michael here? Oh, can we have a microphone?
Hello. I think this is to prepare an image of yourself as you are green, but you are not.
Could be because you're rinsing your image. No, actually green rinsing is something that we're seeing a lot currently with the very, very big companies. It's those that set net zero goals by 2050 and then the next year change to 2040 without telling anybody, or that just get rid of them completely and then change to completely different goals. It's the act of changing your goals and your strategy to completely confuse the audience and to make it very difficult to hold you accountable. That's green rinsing. Again, that means that at the beginning, be very, very, start simple, be honest, and build on that. Again, this is more of a risk for the very, very big companies, not so much for us, but it's important to keep that really in mind. So this is not the topic of today, because that's something that I will start working on a lot over the next year or so, is to, okay, now that we've got our baseline, now that we've got our nice report, what do we actually do to mitigate our impact, to actually improve on what we do in this world? So it's the actions and the goals that we set ourselves. And for that, I really, really need your help, because I've had the most amazing stories from especially smaller companies based in complicated countries that come to me and tell me, oh, but we're working with the local community to clean the water. They have very, very brilliant sustainability stories without making the link that that's actually part of their sustainability strategy. I need those stories, first of all, to help you make sense of it and to promote it, actually, but also to use those as best practices and as examples for your peers. So we did this exercise, again, 3 years ago, and were you part of that group as well, Dan? Can't remember. Yeah. So this was, I think, the first... No, actually, it was this one. This was the first report that we worked on in FIDI. And it's very simple. We put a group together and we started talking, okay, so what are good practices, sustainable practices in the moving industry? And we put it in a report. And it is really, really inspiring, because it's companies, it's not only the big ones, it's not only the grey bulls in this world. You have small companies based in Venezuela, for example, based in Colombia, that have really, really great projects in place and that you can use as an inspiration. So this is a call to action for you to tell me what your stories are, and an invitation to actually just read this first report and just to start wrapping your head around what sustainability actually really means in our world. We published, end of last year, a big resource page on FIDInet with all the different links to the reports, to the resources. Where do you start? What do you need to read on FIDInet? So you need to have access to FIDInet for this QR code, but I will send you the link anyway. There is a lot of information in there. Take it step by step. If you haven't done anything yet, don't start with a carbon calculation platform. Don't. You will run away and sit in a corner and cry. Start with the reports, start with the guidelines, and then work your way into that. Because it is an important topic, and I really do believe that it is important not only for the survival of the planet and the penguins, but actually for the survival of your companies. And with that, I am done. So, as I said, there are no stupid questions because this is a very, very complex topic. I've heard a lot of people come to me yesterday and say, but I don't even know where to start. I'm paralyzed. What do I do? Where do I start? Well, this is your moment to ask me those questions, and then we can actually maybe discuss them together. Please, anybody. Where do I start? There's Idamar there.
Thank you, Magali. And I'm wonder. I mean, I'm just with you. We have to start, even if not perfect. And of course, we have to be commitment. But I'm wondering if you can come through a webinar to my team to close the cycle and to put in numbers all the stuff that we're doing there. What about that?
I would. So those who know me know that I love talking about sustainability to anybody
I'm
who would
gonna
listen
send you my
to me.
Zoom link soon, as soon as I get Caracas.
Just let me survive the conference and give me some breathing space, and then with pleasure. Any questions? Any comments? Any stories you would like to share? John? Yeah. Good. Yeah.
It's not more about questions about how I feel about the subject, because I've been preparing now our first sustainability report this year. And we've been asked for EcoVadis 3 years ago, and the score wasn't that great. It's only 41, 42. It's a bronze certification. That time, we are doing reassessing, and we're preparing one of the important reports, this report, to complete everything in EcoVadis. What I feel assured about your subject is that you said being imperfect is better than nothing. Yes. I've been struggling to do the EcoVadis, to do the sustainability report, because I feel, I have know this, I have know that, and I ran away. And now, with about 2 months preparing, every day I try to write something, try to report something, try to collect something. And I can say I'm already like 90% completed. But now I also have some more inspiration, like, I could report finance and sustainability because we have done the health check. And we have done the FIDI netting, which can be saving bank charges, Absolutely. Which is also something I can report. So these inspirational ideas I collect from here, which is good. So I encourage people around me or people who know me to do that, to just step out to do that and try to record everything every year, every month, and set very simple goals. So our goal is very simple because we're a small, medium-sized company. We start from zero, so we can set any single goals.
Exactly.
Our report is very, very simple. It's only 12 pages now. So I will put on our website, and people, if we are interested, you can see and make comments. So next year we can be better. So this year is like a base of the report. Next year can be more report, more data we can make the benchmark. So that's how I feel. It's not a question. It's
those
how
are
I feel.
Excellent points. I had not thought about the financial assessment. Your EY report that you have to do anyway, that report is excellent marketing in general, but also in your sustainability report, because that is proof, like the best proof you can get of your financial sustainability. So that's actually a very good point to add that as a part of your sustainability report. I just had that
inspiration from you. I didn't think about it before.
Well, I didn't think about that before either, so thank you, John.
I make a note here. I'll go back to that.
Another point, so I hesitated, when I was preparing the slides, I hesitated putting EcoVadis as a framework. So Lars, I don't know if you agree with me, in the sustainability world, EcoVadis is a bit of a, it's from a marketing perspective, it is absolutely fantastic. It's easy to understand, bronze, silver, gold, everybody gets it. From a sustainability point of view, anyway, it is what it is. And it is being pushed very strongly by corporate clients. So if you are being asked by a corporate to do EcoVadis, do it. It's just a framework like the others. And if you do it well, it is actually very useful for your strategy as well. if you're not being asked, just wait a bit. We're not sure where the EcoVadis momentum is going to go. And what we are currently working on together with our sister associations in the Coalition for Greener Mobility, because I still can't remember the name. So the past year, we've worked very, very closely with RMCs to understand what the questions actually are that are being asked in RFPs. It's all over the place. And we had a specialist and an expert analyze the 450 questions that we collected to simplify them so that you can actually understand what exactly are the questions that are being asked and what data do you need to provide. With a long list of recommendations for suppliers on how to answer them, but also for the RMCs and the corporate customers to tell them maybe it's about time that we streamline the way the questions are being asked. That report is, I think, almost cooked, and we will publish it as soon as I'm off stage at one point. So normally, early next week, we will be publishing that report, which is basically a big guidelines on how to reply and how to understand the questions that RMCs and corporate clients are asking from you. So that was my note on EcoVadis.
I'm just going back to EcoVadis, actually. Sorry. We had a Euro member who came and said that they'd been given a silver certificate or something, and they felt they should have got gold because they had the Euro Global Quality Seal. But EcoVadis said, we don't recognise that. So I had somebody was able to introduce me to somebody, and I wrote to EcoVadis and I asked them, why don't you recognise, well, two things, our training and our quality mark. And they came back and said, words to the effect, we don't know who you are, so blah, blah, blah. So I pursued this and I wrote back to them again and I said, here is the standard for the quality mark, which is adjudicated independently in the same way as FAME. And eventually they came back and they said, yes, we will recognise the EGQS. Mm-hmm. So you just mentioned the financial part of it. If EcoVadis would recognise FAME, absolutely, that gets you halfway there.
Yeah. So that is something we're working on, but again, I'm a bit wary of making it look like FIDI is endorsing EcoVadis.
We are not endorsing EcoVadis.
No.
We are just.
So I was waiting for the way the RFP analysis was going to go. I would not feel comfortable as FIDI endorsing EcoVadis as the reporting solution out there. I'm just putting it out there. EcoVadis is a commercial enterprise. They're doing really, really good, but it's commercial. And it's broad scope to cover any type of industry. It's not tailor-made to our industry, so it's complicated, I understand that. But I also understand that the pressure to report on EcoVadis is huge. So we will be working again on very simple guidelines. How do you answer your request if you get it? What do you do with the reports? I will get there, but with a big fat disclaimer at the beginning that if you're not being pressured into it, don't do it. Wait, because we don't know where it's going.
We only did it so that if people are asked, it gets taken into consideration.
Absolutely.
It's not that we're saying that they're the be-all and end-all, because they're not.
Yeah. Thanks, Tad.
Magali, one question. The name dropped EcoVadis and an external solutioner for the sustainability report. So does it need an external provider to set up and finish an accepted sustainability report, or is it also possible for us to just follow the guidelines and to set up on our own sustainability report?
What's the limit of the budget for CSRD last again? It's what, 400 million?
Well, there's an EU omnibus now.
No, forget the omnibus. Before omnibus was?
That was 50K, but that's no longer relevant. So they really changed it.
Yeah. But so the very, very, very big companies who need to report into CSRD, it's complicated, but probably you're so big that you can pay someone to do it for you because it's complicated. For the normal companies in here, again, if you can find someone who's really passionate about it, you can work with your in-house team and just really go slowly. Because the good thing, again, at the moment, there's a bit of a freeze in sustainability reporting pressure because of the omnibus that has kind of threw everything into the air of what the hell is going on with the EU CSRD. So the big companies at the moment are just freezing, which is good for us because it means that they will leave us alone a bit. So,
Unless a customer is asking a certain certificate from a certain
exactly.
company.
Exactly,
These
like
reports.
EcoVadis, for example, yes.
All right.
So if you're being asked, do it, but do it slowly because if you can show them we're working on it and you come up with your own first report saying that actually your part of your strategy is going through the EcoVadis assessment, well, your first report doesn't need to be EcoVadis. It can just mention that part of your strategy is that by 2026, you will have done your EcoVadis assessment. There, you have your report already. And yes, you can do it in-house. It's a lot of work. But actually, the other return on investment on that work is you can't imagine the gain in efficiency. Because once you start looking at how your fuel is being used, how you can improve your routing, how you can improve your truck driving, how you can improve the use of your packaging material, you will all of a sudden find huge efficiencies in areas that you did not even imagine. Right, Dan? Yeah. Right, Lars?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so again, it's not only a sustainability benefit, it's definitely also a business benefit. So voilà, short answer, yes, you can do it alone if you don't overcomplicate it from the beginning. Don't try to go for EcoVadis immediately. Put out a report saying, my strategy is by 2026 be EcoVadis. That's it. Anybody else?
Yes, I just want to finish, encourage you to, when you cross away the measure of sustainability and you take a look in the results. One, less cost because you are applying the 3 R's in your industry. Second, stability to your talent and loyalty, how much it costs. If you can measure these issues, just two, simple two, in your assessment, financial assessment, you will be lucky to start right now with that commitment.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, Magali, and I did not think about it, when, just like with you, John. The trainings that you sometimes have to do with the FIDI Academy, like there's a huge sustainability online course. If you put it's free of charge for all FIDI affiliates. If you put your entire staff through that one, put it in your sustainability report, again, you will be way ahead of all of those people. It's free of charge, it's there, make use of it. So that's a really good point. And actually, again, from a business benefit point of view, there's lots of talk about talent attraction, talent retention, Gen Z, blah, blah, blah. Well, this topic is worth gold for the young generation. And it will become always more and more important. So again, from a business perspective, this is worth gold for the sustainability of your company, not only for the planet. I'm repeating myself a bit. Anybody else? We're way ahead of time, but the sunshine is pretty outside. Yes, Dan?
Yeah.
No, wait, so can we just use the microphone, because otherwise the camera won't catch it.
Yeah, I'd just like to make a couple comments in line with the title of the presentation today, where to begin. Just look at what you're currently doing, count or measure your recycling, measure your petrol usage or diesel usage. You don't need to do anything new. You just need to look at what you're currently doing. And kind of another point is you're just being asked to complete these reports now and do EcoVadis, whatever it might be. And soon enough, you'll be told to do it.
Yes.
And so a lot of things in sustainability right now are leading with a carrot rather than a stick. And to your point, financial sustainability goes perfectly in line with environmental sustainability and social sustainability as well. We've made good progress, I think. I was lucky enough to inherit a good program at Grable, and I'm just trying to keep the wheels on it right now. But we do have good resources. Anyone feel free to reach out to me, dan.grable@grable.com. Answer any questions you might have.
That's an excellent point, actually. For the moment still, it's the carrot dangling, but the stick is not far away. So don't delay. For the moment, you can still get away with not having it perfectly all under control. I give it a few years, maybe a change in government in some country in the world, and the stick will come. So prepare yourself, especially for those of us in Europe. The legislation for the moment is now directly looking at the big ones, but it will come to the small ones as well. So better start now and you will be way ahead of everybody else. And I think with that, we are 20 minutes early. Lucky you. You can tell Jesse that I was really, really good on time. And if Jesse asks, there were 250 people here. Okay? Thank you. And if you have any questions, any doubts, any ideas of how FIDI can help you and the wider industry with this topic, I am always more than happy to discuss sustainability. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me, either via email or on LinkedIn. It will be my absolute pleasure to speak with you. Thank you very much.